Have you ever wondered how World War II affected the lives of Filipinos? This colossal conflict, which spanned 6 years from 1939 to 1945, reshaped the globe and left an indelible mark on every nation involved. But today, we're not here to talk about the broader strokes of history. Instead, we will focus on the impact this war had on a single archipelago in the Pacific, the Philippines. When we think about World War II, we often picture the major players: the United States, Germany, Japan, the Soviet Union. But far from the traditional theaters of Europe and the Pacific, the war reached all corners of the globe, and its influence was felt strongly in the Philippines. This nation, with its rich cultural tapestry and strategic location, found itself in the crosshairs of a global conflict that would shape its history and its people in ways that are still felt today. The conflict's unseen impact was profound and far-reaching. It wasn't just about the battles fought or territories won. No, it was about the lives altered, the futures changed, the dreams deferred. The Filipino people, resilient and proud, were thrown into a war that tested their strength, their unity, and their spirit. This journey into the past is not just about recounting historical facts. It's about understanding how a global event can shape a nation and its people. It's about appreciating the resilience and spirit of the Filipinos, who, despite the turmoil, managed to emerge stronger and more united. From the onset of war, through the occupation, the Battle of Manila, liberation, and the long-term aftermath, World War II left a lasting legacy on the Philippines. Each stage of the war brought unique challenges and impacts, affecting not just the course of history, but the day-to-day lives of ordinary Filipinos. So let's delve deeper into the specific impacts of World War II on Filipinos. Let's discover the stories behind the facts and understand how this monumental event shaped the Philippines and its people in ways that are still evident today. Imagine waking up one day and your country is at war. A reality the Filipinos found themselves in the early 40s. World War II had erupted, and the Philippines, a strategic location in the Pacific, was not spared. The Japanese invasion in December of 1941 marked the onset of a challenging era. The initial impacts were immediate and severe. The country's infrastructure was targeted, crippling communication and transportation networks. Economic activities ground to a halt, food and essential supplies became scarce. The people, caught in the crossfire, found their lives turned upside down. The invasion was not just a military maneuver, it was a force that disrupted the very fabric of Filipino society. Schools were closed, and homes were destroyed. The war turned everyday people into soldiers, nurses, and refugees. Anxiety and fear became constant companions. This was just the beginning of a long and grueling journey for Filipinos. How does one survive under the harsh rule of an occupying force? Imagine, if you will, the daily life of Filipinos during the Japanese occupation. A time when the freedom to live as one pleases was replaced with the chilling reality of forced labor. Men, women, and even children were conscripted to work in the fields, mines, and factories, all under the watchful eyes of their captors. But the hardships didn't end there. Goods became scarce. The bare necessities of life like food and medicine were rationed, and prices soared to unimaginable heights. The streets bore witness to a new norm of increased violence, a grim reminder of the power dynamics in play. Yet amid such tough times, one thing remained constant: the unyielding spirit of the Filipino people. They endured, they resisted, and they hoped, for they knew that this too shall pass. Yet, despite these hardships, the Filipinos' spirit remained unbroken. The Battle of Manila was a pivotal point in the Philippines' World War II story. Let's transport ourselves back to February 1945. The Philippines, a crucial strategic location in the Pacific, was under Japanese occupation. The capital, Manila, was a city under siege. The Allied forces, primarily made up of American and Filipino troops, were determined to retake the city and liberate the islands. This wasn't just a battle, it was a month-long urban warfare, a clash of wills, strategy, and raw power. The city became a battleground, with the Japanese forces using its historic buildings, narrow streets, and the iconic walled city of Intramuros as defensive positions. The battle was fierce, and the cost was high. The Japanese forces led by General Tomoyuki Yamashita were determined to hold the city at all costs. The Allied forces under the command of General Douglas MacArthur were equally resolute in their mission to liberate Manila. As the battle raged on, the city bore the brunt of the fighting. Thousands of buildings were destroyed, iconic landmarks were reduced to rubble, and the city's infrastructure was left in ruins. But the toll was not just physical. The human cost was even more staggering. It's estimated that over 100,000 civilians lost their lives, caught in the crossfire or tragically used as human shields. The Battle of Manila was one of the most devastating urban battles of World War II. It was a turning point in the war in the Pacific, marking the beginning of the end of Japanese occupation in the Philippines. But the victory came at a high price. The city, once known as the Pearl of the Orient, was left in ruins. Its inhabitants were left to pick up the pieces, mourning their lost loved ones in their once beautiful city. The Battle of Manila left scars that can still be seen today. The city was rebuilt, but its history, its heritage, and the memories of those who lived through the battle are etched into its fabric, a reminder of the resilience and courage of its people in the face of adversity. Finally, after years of suffering came liberation. The long-awaited day dawned in the Philippines with the return of the Allied forces. The year was 1945, and the tide of World War II had finally turned. The joy and relief that swept over the islands was palpable. Years of struggle, of life under occupation, had left the Filipinos yearning for freedom, and now, at last, it was within their grasp. The liberation was a hard-fought victory, with battles raging throughout the islands. The most significant of these was the Battle of Manila, a month-long struggle that resulted in the city's liberation. But the joy of freedom was tinged with the heavy price paid for it. The battle had left the city in ruins, a stark reminder of the war's devastating effects. But the Filipinos, resilient as ever, were ready to face the daunting task of rebuilding their nation. The aftermath of the war saw a massive rebuilding effort, as the people came together to restore their homes, their cities, and their lives. It was a time of determination and hope, of a nation rising from the ashes. Yet, while the physical scars began to heal, the emotional and psychological wounds ran deep. The war had left an indelible mark on the Filipino psyche. Stories of the occupation, of the brutality and hardship endured were passed down from generation to generation, a stark reminder of the past. The liberation of the Philippines marked the end of World War II for the Filipinos. It was a time of celebration, of joyous relief, but it also marked the beginning of a new struggle. The struggle to rebuild, to heal, and to move forward. It was a testament to the Filipino spirit, their resilience, and their unwavering hope for a brighter future. Liberation marked the end of the war, but not the end of its effects. The shadow of World War II still looms over the Philippines, a reminder of a past that has shaped the nation's present and will continue to influence its future. But it's also a testament to the enduring spirit of the Filipino people, their resilience, and their unyielding hope. World War II ended over 70 years ago, but its impact on the Philippines can still be felt today. The war forever altered the nation's course, sparking significant changes in politics, economy, and society. In the political realm, the war led to the Philippines' independence from the United States in 1946. The newly independent republic had to grapple with the immense task of rebuilding a nation ravaged by war, a task that would shape its political landscape for decades to come. Economically, the war devastated the Philippines' infrastructure and industries, leading to a long period of economic struggle. However, it also paved the way for economic development and industrialization, as the nation had to rebuild and modernize. Socially, the war left deep scars on the collective memory of the Filipinos. The stories of courage and resilience during this period have become a part of the national identity, shaping the character of the Filipino people. The war may be over, but its echoes continue to reverberate through the Philippines. So what have we learned about the impact of World War II on the Filipinos? We've traversed the onset of the war, casting shadows of uncertainty and fear. We experienced life under occupation, a period of struggle yet resilience. We walked through the Battle of Manila, a city caught between the tides of war, and emerged into the liberation and aftermath, where hope sprouted from the ruins. The long-term impact, it's etched in every corner of the Philippine society, from its economy to its culture. It's the story of a nation that endured, rebuilt, and thrived. The Filipino spirit, unyielding and brave, stood firm, a testament to their strength. World War II was a crucible that tested the Philippines, but it also showcased the resilience, courage, and indomitable spirit of the Filipino people. World War II left an indelible mark on the Philippines, but it also highlighted the resilience and courage of the Filipino people. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. Until next time.